No one prepares you for the moment you realize you've been living everyone else's life but your own. Hi, my name is Yulin Lee, and I am a money empowerment coach and a spiritual mentor for women in midlife. And that moment I just described, that reckoning, is exactly what brings most of the women I work with to my door. They've spent their 30s and 40s building career, raising family, holding everything together. And now they're in their 50s, the kids are grown, and the marriage may have changed, and the career has run its course. And for the first time, there's this opening, this space. And instead of feeling free, it feels terrifying because they look at their life and their finances. They realize, I actually never made my life about me. So today, I want to give you something concrete. 5 money priorities, the ones that keep coming back again with my clients, that will help you stop spinning and start actually building the financial life that's yours. Not your husband's or your ex's, or not your kids, not the version that your parents taught you to, but yours. So stay with me through the end because priority number 5 is the one that most women skip. And it is the one that actually ties everything together. So before I get into the 5 priorities, I also want to call something out first. The overwhelm that women in their 50s experience is real. And it's not because they're bad with money. It's because for decades, money was always in service of something else. The mortgage, the kids' college, the household, the business. It was always a means to someone else's end. So using money intentionally for yourself, for your vision, your freedom, your next chapter is completely new way of relating to it. And new things always feel overwhelming before they feel natural. So if you're sitting here feeling behind or foggy, or like everyone else has figured this out except you, I promise you, you're not alone. And you're not behind. You're just beginning something that most women never get the courage to even begin with. Okay, now let's get into it. Money priority number 1. Get crystal clear on your full financial picture. The first priority sounds simple, but you will be shocked at how many accomplished women have never actually sat down and looked at the full picture of their finances. What do you have? What do you owe? Where's your money going every single month? What are your assets? What does your retirement account look like right now? I'm not asking you to be an accountant. I'm asking you to stop looking away. Because here's the thing. The fog is always scarier than the truth. I've sat with women who were convinced that their financial situation was a disaster. And when we actually lay it all out, it was nowhere near as bad as they had built it to be in their head. The not knowing is what creates the anxiety. And the knowing, even when it's uncomfortable, gives you something to work with. So priority number 1 is very simple. Get the full picture. Pull the statements, write them down. Know your numbers because you cannot drive somewhere new if you don't know where you're starting from. Money priority number 2. Build income that works for you and not just from you. Most women in their 50s have spent their entire financial life trading time for money. You work, you get paid. You stop working, the money stops. And for a long time, when you're younger, that's fine. But in your 50s, when you are starting to think about what the next 20, 30 years actually look like, that equation starts to feel fragile because your time is finite and your body isn't going to want to keep working at the same pace forever. And frankly, you've also earned the right to have money that doesn't always require your constant presence to exist. So this priority is about starting to shift, even slowly, even partially, toward income that works for you, like investments, dividend-producing assets, real estate, or a business model that doesn't require you to be on all the time. Whatever makes sense for your life. Now, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I am saying start asking the question, what would it look like if some of my income didn't depend entirely on me showing up? That question alone will start shift how you think about your money. Money priority number 3, protect yourself first. This is the one that nobody wants to talk about. So, of course, we're going to talk about it. Your 50s are the decade when protection becomes non negotiable. And I'm talking about the practical, legal, financial structure that makes sure you are taken care of by yourself, for yourself, regardless of what happens. Do you have a trust or a will at the minimum? Is it updated? Do you know who your beneficiaries are on every single account? Because a beneficiary designation overrides a will or a trust. And a lot of women don't know that. Do you have an emergency fund in your name that you control? Do you have the right insurance coverage for this stage of your life? I work with women going through divorce, women who have been widowed, women who are leaving long careers and rebuilding from scratch. And the ones who had these structures in place, even imperfectly, had so much more ground to stand on. So protecting yourself is not being pessimistic. It is one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. It's like saying, I matter enough to be taken care of, even by me. Money priority number 4, invest in your next chapter, not your retirement. Okay, here's where I want to push back on something a little bit. When women in their 50s start getting serious about their money, the conversation almost always goes immediately to retirement. Max out on your contribution to 401k or catch up on your IRA contributions. But the very definition of retirement has changed. It's no longer about what happens when you turn 65. And for a lot of women, they're still in this frame of mind of thinking, how many more years do I have until I turn 65 or 70? Without clear knowledge of whether they have enough money to live through the end in the way that they want. And here's the thing. Your 50s, 60s, and 70s are not a waiting room for an old age. They are decades of your life, real, full, and potentially extraordinary decades. So I really want you to think in terms of your next chapter, one that is filled with dreams and experiences that you've been deferring, and also with a version of you that finally gets to show up fully. And then take a proactive approach to creating that dream life as opposed to becoming passive and just allowing retirement run its own course. And by the way, if you have been thinking about what your next chapter could look like, but you're also feeling a little bit of lost as to how to put the pieces together, to have that crystal clear vision, I offer a free 5-day guided money experience where I help you organize your thoughts, prioritize your wants and desires, and then to create a pathway to live out your dream life. It is completely free, but I only have 5 spots each month. And so if you want to grab one of those spots, you can click the link in the description below or use the QR code on the screen to apply. Money priority number 5. Get financially educated and stop outsourcing your power. I told you to stay for this one, and here's why. Everything else on this list, the clarity, the income strategy, the protection, the vision, all of it depends on this one, on how you actually understand your own money, on you being the one in the room who knows what's happening with your finances, who can ask the right questions. And I want to say something about this that I feel strongly. The financial industry historically has not been built for women. It has been built in a way that keeps things complicated, keeps women dependent on advisors, spouses, and experts, and keep the power out of her hands. And a lot of women have internalized that. They believe they're not good with money. They believe it's too complicated. And they believe they need someone else to figure it out for them. That's a story. And it's not yours to carry. It's not yours to keep. Now, getting financially educated doesn't mean becoming a financial advisor. It means understanding how money works well enough to make your own decision. It means being able to look at your investments and know what you're looking at. It means understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. It means having a conversation with a financial professional and knowing what questions to ask. It means being in charge of your own financial life fully, unapologetically. And that is not just a financial shift. That is an identity shift. That is you deciding, maybe for the first time, that your financial future is your responsibility and your power, not someone else's. So now you have the 5 money priorities to focus on. None of these require you to be perfect, and none of them require you to have it all figured out before you start. They just require you to decide that you are worth the effort, that your financial life, the one that is actually yours, is worth building. You have spent so many years being the foundation for everyone else. You know how to show up. You know how to be committed. You know how to do hard things. The only thing that is different now is that you get to do it for yourself. Now, if being watching this and nodding along, and there's a part of you that knows it's time to actually do something about it, I want to invite you to a conversation. I have a link in the description below where you can book a free discovery call with me. We get on the phone, just the two of us, and we talk about where you are right now and what you actually want this next chapter to look like and what might be getting in the way financially or otherwise. No pressure, no script, just a real conversation. And sometimes that's exactly what it takes to finally stop circling and start moving and making progress. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on more content that was designed to support women like you in midlife. Now, go take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.